And we move on now to District 3 race between incumbent Republican Mike Samson and Democrat challenger Leslie Robinson. And Leslie joins us via Zoom. Are you there, Leslie?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll begin with opening remarks. Leslie, 90 seconds, opening remarks.
Thank you for the invite today. I'm Leslie Robinson, and I've lived in the Rifle area for almost 50 years after graduating from CSU. I'm married to Jim Bradford, former clerk of the courts. Including managing United Way of Garfield County, I've spent over 20 years in advertising sales for several local newspapers. I've worked retail, restaurants, and managed nonprofit thrift stores. My second home is Glenwood Springs, where I worked for many years. I spent a lifetime being active and serving in the communities in Garfield County. In Rifle, I helped form the Downtown Development Authority, and I was on the Rifle Economic Development Board that purchased property south of the river that now houses Walmart, hotels, and restaurants. I've worked for many different chambers of commerces, and for Garfield County, I served on the Fair Board for about 8 years, and I've been on the Energy Advisory Board for almost 10 years too. I've been engaging the current county commissioners for over 20 years and have interacted with many of the department heads. My opponent wants to paint me as anti-oil and gas. That is not true. What I am for is protective regulations that keep drilling impacts to a minimum, especially in residential areas like Battlement Mesa. As chairman of the Grand Valley Citizens Alliance, I've been very involved with the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission rulemaking to create rules that protect people's health and safety, and I have supported the 2,000-foot setbacks. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Samson, 90 seconds.
Thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here. And I want you to know that Garfield County is in good shape. A little bit about me. I'm 66 years old. I have lived in Garfield County all my life. I have been married to my wonderful bride, Janet, for 42 years. We have 7 children and 20 grandchildren. I worked at Rifle High School 25 years as a teacher, 5 years as an administrator, and now 12 years as a representative of the people in the West End, District 3, as well as the rest of Garfield County as a county commissioner. Garfield County is revered throughout the state and the nation as in good shape. You can talk to just about any county commissioner within the state of Colorado, and they will tell you that we are one of the best run counties in this state and the nation for that matter. A lot of that is because of John Martin, who has done a great job for 24 years. I'm pleased and honored to work with him as well as Tom. They're good men. We make a good team. We try to listen and do what is best for Garfield County, not for an individual, not for just a few people, but what is best for Garfield County.
First question, Mr. Samson. With your district in the heart of oil and gas country and revenues continuing to plummet, what sources of revenue do you foresee coming from Western Garfield County?
That's a good point, and I will reiterate, as Leslie has said, that she is anti-oil and gas, and this has hurt our county, and I think it would continue to hurt our county if she was to be elected to this position. Other sources, obviously, we've worked very hard in establishing things to bring in different industries and enterprises. Among those are the Economic Development District that I've worked hard with through the AGNC. This will enable more federal funds to come in easily for businesses, the Small Business District Association, Opportunity Zones, Enterprise Zones, Rural Jumpstart. All of these things we have given money to help with economic industry and benefits to all within our county.
Let's see your response.
I am not anti-oil and gas, and I do not control the market. It's a worldwide market. We have to grow from within. Some of the great businesses in Western Garfield County is American Soda. They're the largest baking soda mine in the United States. Osage Gardens is another example of small business growing to produce for the local restaurants. I think it's important to help mom and pop retail businesses because they hire more employees than big businesses do. And in the case of hemp, we need to grow, process, manufacture, and do something with the waste, perhaps burn it for energy. So we can grow with local businesses, definitely.
Mr. Sampson, rebuttal.
I would say that people who are looking to either expand their business or come here know that we are very business friendly, and we encourage that. A perfect example of this is Springborn. If you get a chance, go out south of Silt and look at the facility and infrastructure that is being put in there. That facility will produce 3,500 pounds of lettuce per day. And we as a county have helped them and encouraged them. And that will employ 25 new good paying jobs. Great industry.
Next question for Leslie. And I hate to seem like we're beating a dead horse here, but we're going to address this one more time. During a recent BOCC meeting, September 14th, you made comments over Zoom, quote, "If I had the power to close down the oil and gas industry, that would be great." You went on to say, but even Ursa said it's the national markets, the worldwide markets that caused their bankruptcy. Do you really feel that way about the industry?
I was being sarcastic. You know, one person, especially somebody like me in Rifle, Colorado, has no control over the national oil and gas market. We've got hundreds of ships full of oil and full of liquid natural gas sailing the oceans because there's nobody to buy it. We have an oversupply of oil and gas, and that's why the markets are going down. And that's why companies in Western Garfield County are having problems. They cannot compete. If you're giving it away with your sale of oil in the Permian Basin in Texas, and if you're burning off natural gas in South Dakota, you cannot drill for it for a profit in Western Garfield County. The economics just aren't here. And so that's why we have to diversify our economy and look at growing other businesses because, again, we're on a bust cycle. I've lived through the oil shale boom and bust, and natural gas has gone down since 2008. And then with COVID and the markets, it's even down worse this year.
Your response, Mr. Sampson.
If I had the power to get rid of natural gas, that'd be great. That's nothing to be sarcastic about. Natural gas has helped our country or county immensely. You can talk about hospitals, schools, fire districts, on and on and on. That tax base, with the absence of that, has hurt us a great deal. I agree. The price of natural gas has gone down, and that has some to do with it. But when you take someone like Leslie, who fights hard for Senate Bill 181, and then goes over to every air quality commission and every COGCC meeting to hammer against the companies that have given so much, that's hurting us. And I'm not going to give her a pass on that. The voters need to know that is part of the problem there. And it has hurt our county. Our tax revenues have gone down greatly.
Let's see your rebuttal.
I've been representing the people in Battlement Mesa affected by oil and gas less than 1,000 feet from their homes and neighborhoods. The county commissioners did not take into consideration the health and safety of these Battlement Mesa residents. There's no reason why natural gas companies have to drill within residential areas. There's plenty of federal land to drill in, and they can be far away from residential areas. That's what I'm against. Drilling in residential areas and affecting people's quality of life. And that's why we need more safety regulations.
Next question, Mr. Sampson.
Yes, sir.
Why is Garfield County paying so much to fight what seems to be a losing battle against the new regulations being formed by the COGCC as stipulated under Senate Bill 181?
Great question, Ron. We have to be at the table. We have to help those that have helped us so much. And they have. Natural gas companies have given a tremendous amount. That's why we are in such good physical shape, is because we have all kinds of revenues, 130, not revenues, excuse me, reserves, $130 million. But because of the tough times, by the end of next year, we anticipate that will be 90 million. I would ask you to find another county that is going to have $90 million worth of reserves at the end of 2021, like we will have. We planned forward for this. But to answer your question, we have to help ourselves by doing that because they have helped us. And this has been a good industry for us. Go down to Battlement Mesa. I don't see polluted air, water, or land. I don't see it.
Leslie, your response.
Well, he doesn't see it because we fought hard to make sure that that didn't happen. They are wasting taxpayers' dollars, picking up the tab for 23 other counties and cities and paying $1.5 million and climbing to oil and gas lawyers and lobbyists is not a good use of our funds. If all those 23 members would chip in their fair share, it would be $65,000 each. Instead, Garfield County is picking up the whole tab. I don't think that we should be buying friends that way. So I think that, well, the conservation groups are not spending $1.5 million on logical and safe regulations for people so that they can live next to oil and gas together.
Sampson, your rebuttal.
Well, we have been very generous as a county to give the cities, as well as other entities in the past decade or so, $30 million. We also established a federal mineral lease district, close to $30 million that we have given in the past 8 years. That's $60 million. The bulk of that came from where? Oil and gas. Now, I'm not saying that's the only important industry, but I'm saying it's a big piece of the puzzle. And I have been down to Battlement Mesa, and continually we receive 70 to 75% of the vote of those people. I think they support us.
Next question, Leslie. This is a little more involved, and I'll give you a little extra time to respond. Garfield County is in a unique situation because of its vast size, being surrounded by acres and acres of federal land. For many years, the county has been embroiled in a number of issues that directly impact land use and the regional economy: sage grouse, RS 2477, roads across federal lands, the Rowan Plateau, Jordan Cove, naval oil shale cleanup funds, long-range land use planning to go along with many state issues. How would you, as a commissioner, ensure that Garfield County's presence, voice, and concerns are heard and taken seriously by state and federal officials?
Well, I already represent the people of Garfield County in many respects when it comes to public land use and when it comes to oil and gas regulations and when it comes to working with other organizations across the state. And I don't see how that would change when I become county commissioner. I'm very involved with the community, with my state, and with the region. And I would just continue doing that. I don't see any change in that policy, regardless of who's county commissioner.
Well, that's
Samson.
another great question. Thanks for asking it. Garfield County is 2/3, 67% federal lands. That's a big piece of the puzzle for us. Let's talk about, you mentioned Jordan Cove. That is a great thing. I have fought for that. I will continue to fight for that. I know it'll probably be a losing proposition if the wrong person is elected president. But hopefully the present president will be reelected and we will be able to work with him. That would open up all kinds of possibilities for our county. And I will continue to work with the people in Oregon that won it. Their county had a vote, 30 seconds to go. Wow. AP brought home $7.5 million to Garfield County, 18 million to Northwest Colorado because of the Anvil Points oil shale. Land resources, we're working on that plan. We finished it, we passed it so that we can work extensively with the federal government. We have a plan to do that. This is important to us, our federal lands.
Leslie, rebuttal.
My opponent's putting way too much faith into Jordan Cove. The Kitimat British Columbia plant is opening up, LGN plant is opening up, $40 billion project, and they've got big oil behind it. Jordan Cove has no contracts, no money, and no big oil buy-in. It's a boondoggle, it's a pipe dream. And the people of Oregon and Washington are fighting it tooth and nail. That vote had nothing to do with the approval of having a pipeline through farmers and ranchers' property. Garfield County seems to want to protect private property rights here, but they have no problem trampling over the private property rights of people in Oregon and Washington for a Canadian project for Canadian oil and gas.
Last question on the economy. And we've heard a lot about diversifying the economy. Mr. Samson, what, if you were reelected, what would you do to diversify the economy, expand the economy, especially in Western Colorado?
Well, first of all, we would continue to let people know that we're open for business and we welcome it. We want good industries and good people. And, you know, people want to come and live in Garfield County. They're moving here. You know, I stop and think if it's such a bad place and we've done such a bad job, why in the world would they want to come here in the first place? They're wanting to come here. Number two, we have, as I said, the Economic Development District that's opening the doors for federal grants for businesses, make it a lot easier, as well as a small business. We have given money as the commissioners to these various sources so that co-venture could be opened up in Carbondale, co-workspace in Rifle. All of these things, we've worked with these people. I don't think we've ever turned anyone away that's come before us and said, we have a plan here to help business come in. We don't have all the answers, but we do have some money and we've been able to help and we'll continue to do that.
Leslie.
Well, I hope that economic development means diversifying our economy, but also providing low attainable housing for our people so that they can prosper as well. When I moved to Silt, I purchased a home that was prefabricated in Silt. They built the house and they sold the property, and I only had $60 a month house payment. If we can build houses like this and the county join municipalities in providing housing projects, I think that would grow our economy to provide more housing. People don't want to live in apartments all their life and pay rent to somebody else. And I think if we can get them into a home, that's really going to expand local businesses because homeowners need paint, They need new furniture, and that will increase the mom and pop businesses here.
Rebuttal, Mr. Sampson.
There's obviously a big difference between me and my opponent when it comes to doing things in Garfield County. I would ask that you sincerely look at both of us and decide who shares more closely the values and the priorities that you have in your life. I think the majority of people that are voters and constituents align with me and not with Leslie. And that's nothing against her. I know she's very much into what she believes, but I don't think it's the right thing for Garfield County.
Closing remarks, Leslie, 90 seconds.
Friends describe me as somebody who has integrity, dedication, grit, and tenacity. I want the county to be less dependent on the yo-yo economics of natural gas production in Western Garfield County and work on diversifying our local economy. The income from property tax of nearly 11,500 wells in our county has been declining for over 10 years. After 40 years of booms and busts, we should stop putting all our eggs into one basket. I plan to change that dynamic, and I ask for your vote. I hope I earned it tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Sampson.
Well, as I've said before, Garfield County is in good shape. You can ask a lot of people that, and they will tell you that. We have definitely not put all our eggs into one basket, but the natural gas industry has definitely been a big piece of the puzzle, and we have profited because of our partnership with them. I feel that the state of Colorado, along with those in certain organizations that Leslie belongs to, have beat up and beat up and beat up on this industry. And it's been hard on them, and they're leaving. It's easier to make things work in other states where you don't have oppressive regulation. That being said, as I said earlier, take a good look at Mike Samson, take a good look at Leslie Robinson, and decide for yourself, who would you like to lead as your commissioner for the next 4 years from District 3? I think, in my heart, I know that the majority of you will say it should be Mike Samson. Thank you, and thank you to KMTS.
Leslie and Mike, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck on Election Day.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron, for
All right. You're welcome.